In this video, we're going to look at how we can create depreciation schedule based on some different values, the cost, the salvage, and the life, and the period of an account. So let us start with this simulation, and then we're going to talk about the differences that you can pick from in this formula.
To create a depreciation schedule using one of the depreciation functions, first set up the values for the arguments. Create cells containing the cost, salvage, and life values. Create a table listing the periods, year numbers, in a column. The depreciation formula will be entered in the column to the right of the period column. Click the cell immediately to the right of the period 1 cell. On the Formulas tab, in the Function Library group, click the Financial button. For straight line depreciation, select SLN. Enter absolute cell references or names for the cost, salvage, and life arguments. If you want to use accelerated depreciation, select SYD. In addition to the cost, salvage, and life arguments, enter a relative cell reference for the period argument using the first cell in the list of period numbers.
Just a second. So in this case, what he did, actually, he presented for you similar to the previous, the straight line. However, here what he added the value of a 8 because we are using the same Excel table to put the information, and the eight is this number 1. Okay, so that's why he had to refer to make a reference to that one. And of course, we're going to populate those values for the 5 years in each type of the depreciation function that we picked.
For declining balance depreciation, select DB. DB includes one optional argument, month. This is used when the asset was in use for only part of the first accounting period. Enter the number of months the asset was in service. For double declining depreciation, select DDB. This function uses a multiplier to accelerate the depreciation. If the multiplier is something other than 2, enter it in the factor argument box. Copy the formula to the remaining cells in the depreciation schedule.
As you can see, if you pick the straight line, the value that populated is equivalent over the whole years. Of course, in the accelerated type of argument, you can see it's going to hit at the beginning of the year very high and then goes smaller and smaller and smaller.
If you used the declining balance depreciation method and included the month argument in period 1, be sure to remove it from the formula in period 2 before copying to the remaining cells in the schedule.
So this is important because he represented the first value of declining balance. The value in this specific cell was 6 months values. If you didn't make that changes, if you kept it at 12 and you didn't add that specific changes, you could have really selected the value here to the end of those 5 years. So that's why he needed to make modifications. So now, since he made a modification in the second row that is gonna not consider 1 month but will be considering the whole year, you can populate the value from the row 2, which is the year number 2, to the year number 5. Okay, so that's it about how you can use different type of method in calculating the depreciation.